we are talking about sex. So I will just look at it here. Sex. That is what we are looking at. Now, we need to understand a few things. The word sex means differently to different, it has different meaning to different people. But what we on the adult class will be looking at is, we'll be looking at sex as involving not just penetration, but oral and also touching as well. We are not going to limit the definition of sex to just penetrative sex. We are looking at oral sex, and we are also looking at all other forms of sex. But what we on adult class will not look at is any type of sex that involves same sex. That is, we are not looking at men and men, women and women. We are not saying we are against it. We are not saying we support it. But what the adult class is doing is, we are keeping our teachings on heterosexual men and women only. That is the caveat we are setting for this class. Now, what we would also want everyone to understand is that whether you are whatever, gay or whatever, we are not really concerned. What we care about is that you understand this. Sex is like the breath of life. That is what I want you to understand. That sex is like the breath of life. Sex is so vital to the continuous existence of human beings. And without sex, we as human beings will just get finished. Everything on earth will just disappear if there was nothing like sex. Even trees have a way through which something sexual happens for them to reproduce. So sex is very vital to the very existence of every living thing here on earth. We should also understand that sex is also joining of energies. Two people joining their energies together. And the only act in this world that a part of a person enters another part of another person. I don't know what other thing in this world that a part of my body will enter into another person's body and then produce another human being. It is only through sex. So this cannot be an act that is not important. Let's get on to the PowerPoint presentations. I'll sit for a while and then we'll go on. Now, we have established that sex is so vital to humanity, and as well as our mental well-being. Sex is vital for it's vital for our spiritual evaluation. So it's also spiritual as well. It's not just physical. Sex is a function that is generally unavoidable. So those who are celibates or those who are practicing celibacy, we'll get to that point where we'll talk about celibacy and its pluses and minuses, if there are any. We'll look at it as we go on with this course. But it is something that is unavoidable. As we grow, we will have the urge. And even when you are growing as a young person, at a certain age, you get that urge. Even when there are no women around, you get that urge. That is why you can even have a dream orgasm. And people call that a wet dream. It is not spiritual. I'll show you why and how some of those things happen as we proceed with our class. It is also a source of healing. It's a source of joy. It's a source of happiness. And sex, once done well, would make you live long. And it's not supposed to cause any pain. What incorrect sex does is, incorrect sex is sex that is used as a weapon. Sex that is used for promiscuity. Sex that is used for immoral profit generation. Those are unhealthy sexual practices. You may not like me for that, but that is the truth. Sex is not a game for the unmarried. It is a game for those who are married. And as we continue, you will understand and agree with me completely that that is it. Now, it is important to understand that sex will give you long life. It will make you happier, it will make you healthier, and it will also make you wiser. So, on my PowerPoint presentation, you have the sexual glands. I am not talking about sexual organs. I'm talking about the sexual gland. Now, the sexual gland for the woman is not just the vagina. The vagina is just a passage through that we get to the sexual glands. The sexual glands of the woman are the ovaries, are the uterus, are the cervix, are the fallopian tubes. Those are the sexual glands for the woman. Those are the most important part of a woman for regenerating energy and regenerating life, because energy is life. For a man, it is not the phallus. It is just the prostate gland and the testicles. I am going to show you today how a man produces sperm. Yes, so that you understand that the penis is just a tube that carries the fluid out. So the sexual glands are endowed. The sexual glands that I just mentioned, that is for the woman. I'm talking about the ovaries, the cervix, the uterus, the fallopian tubes. They are empowered by God to create, and it is used for creation. It has the power to create and God's intelligence to organize life. The only way God can organize life is to empower you and I, our sexual glands, to be able to function well so that his creation can continue. So if this is the purpose for which God, besides the pleasure and besides producing children, sex is also used as a force, a source of energy, which is in our system, which is in our body, a source of life. It seriously means that sex can never be something that you can call dirty. It's very, very important. Our sexual glands, or our sexual organs and glands, are where energy and the life power are concentrated and generated. You heard me. I'm saying that the sexual glands that I mentioned about, that is the area where our energy and life power are concentrated and generated. So we need and we depend on our sexual glands to support our mental, physical functions. We need our sexual glands functioning properly for us to be, and then also become physical. Because without a properly functioning sexual gland, your body won't function well. Now, you should understand that life will definitely end if every sexual gland is not functioning well. Life will end. If all our sexual glands are not functioning, life will simply end. And then also, the sexual glands produce hormones. They are the fire which help rejuvenate our cells and our tissues. They are like a fire. I'll show you as we go on. It's like a stove, and without a stove you can't have fire, and without fire you can rejuvenate, you can recreate our cells. And then we should understand that the sexual gland, once your sexual gland is functioning improperly, your tissues and your cells will and they'll get bad. And then once they get bad, mentally, physically, you can't perform. Once your sexual glands get bad, everything inside you get bad. Mental and physical aspect of the body become tired. Yes, with time we become tired, we become depressed. When there are negative feelings, and anytime you become tired, you become depressed, you lose energy. And when you allow that to continue or persist in your system, that is when the aging process begins. That is where the aging process begins. And as we continue, you get to understand that God made us to be immortals. But we, because of our own attitude, we kill ourselves, we don't eat well, we don't drink well, we don't sleep well, we don't do the right things, and eventually we just degrade our cells and tissues. And once you fall sick, you definitely will kill yourself. So all these problems can be prevented or corrected by a functioning sexual gland. So if your sexual gland is functioning well, you can fix all these problems that I am talking about by sharing true love, by giving true love, and by receiving true love. Two people can learn to understand God's nature well. That is the only time that we can understand God well. But do you also know that our DNA would only split well when there's arousal, orgasm, love, and compassion. At the moment your body is experiencing arousal, and it moves from arousal to an orgasm, and there's love and compassion, then your DNA will split well. Your cells split well when you are having arousal, orgasm, love, and you're showing compassion. That is when your cells split well. So anytime you're thinking negative, or you have any negative emotions, or you are depressed, you are stressed, your DNA will not even split well. And when your DNA is not splitting well, your cells are not healthy. You are aging, you are growing, you are poisoning yourself. But you see, after all these beautiful things that our sexual glands do for us, most people see sex as dirty or sinful. So how can God do these wonderful things with our sexual glands? I'm not even talking about our organs, even though some people abuse the organ, with our sexual glands, and they will think that sex is dirty or it is sinful. And when some gentleman like me, I'm sitting on TV talking sex, I am a bad man or a bad boy. No, sex is a good thing. It's a beautiful thing, and it is God's creation. It is vital. It is vital. And I tell you, if you understand these things, you would understand God. You would experience God when you understand these things. Sex actually gives us wisdom. Sex and sexual energy can improve your health. It can harmonize your relationship, and it can even increase your spiritual realization and thoughts. As we go along today, you see how important it is to be circumspective with your sexual glands and the way you engage in sexual activities. The human being cannot exist unless there's continuous supply of energy. You are dead if there's no energy in you. And I can say for a fact that life cannot continue if there's no energy in you. And it is an indication of you being alive. So here we are saying that breathing, talking, eating, sleeping, drinking, hearing, all these we achieve them because we have energy and we are alive. Yeah. Because if we don't have energy and we are not alive, we will not be able to hear, listen, and eat and whatever. We will not be able to do it. So we should understand that the bone, all the structure we have, it is just a mass of cells, living cells. And if these cells are weak, you are sick. From all the activities we do, whether it is physical, it is supported just by the energy we have. And as we continue to do it, even while you are watching television, while you are listening to me, you are losing energy. You are using energy. And we receive the energy we need from the food we eat, from what we drink, and even from the air we breathe. We receive energy. So we should understand that there are certain parts of our bodies that are responsible for maintaining these energies in our body. Now I have a schematic location of all the 7 important glands in our body. We have the pineal gland. The pineal gland is, some other people call it the third eye. Okay, the pineal gland is directly linked with our spirituality. It allows one to communicate on the spiritual level. Yes, that is what the pineal gland does. Allows you to communicate on the spiritual level. And then also, we have the pituitary gland, which is in charge of our memories. That is what the pituitary gland does. It takes care of our memories. And then we have the thyroid gland, which is in charge of our growth. The thyroid gland in charge of our growth. We have the thymus gland, which is in charge of our hearts. And we have the pancreas, which takes care of digestion and all those things. We have the adrenal gland, that is on the kidneys, that helps us with circulation of water and all those things in our bodies. And then also, we have the sexual glands, that is in charge of producing semen, sperm, and eggs, and fertilizing it, and a womb for a newborn baby to be born. So I want to show you something here. Yes, this one. You can see I have a bunch of test tubes with fluids in them. All I'm trying to say is every one of them needs to be filled up because they communicate with each other. If you overuse one of your glands and then it drops and the system is unable to balance itself so that all of them come into equilibrium, you are sick. Because they communicate with each other, they share the secretions, they share the fluids, they share the bloods, they share the communication, they are linked together. So if your sexual gland is not functioning properly, it will have an adverse effect on your adrenal gland, on your pineal gland, on your thyroid, on your pancreas. And then eventually you are falling sick. That is one important thing that everyone should note. So it is important that you always keep your body in equilibrium. It should be balanced. That is why when you masturbate as a man or you masturbate as a woman, all you are doing is masturbating just the tip of the penis or the corona and the gland or the clitoris. When you are doing that, you are just stimulating the thymus gland, which is the heart. And once you overstimulate the heart, it will cause an imbalance in the other other glands, and it causes disturbances in the entire body. So it is one of the reasons why masturbation is not correct, especially if you are masturbating just the tip of the penis or the clitoris, because then you are creating an imbalance. The sexual act itself creates a balance in all the organs, because from the tip of the vagina all the way to the uterus, and from the tip of the penis all the way to the pubic hair, we have reflex points that link to all the glands. So while you are having sex, you are stimulating all the glands, and that keeps your body in balance. Also, we should understand that the body is like a battery. When you are alive and healthy, you are fully charged. Alive and healthy, you are fully charged. But the thing is, a dead person has a dead battery. When your battery runs out, it's just like you have a mobile phone. Once you drain your mobile phone's battery, your mobile phone goes off and you can't do anything with it. But normally, the body is fully charged by the time you wake up from bed. But you know what? Unhealthy sexual practices are a very important cause of wasting of this vital energy. Unhealthy sexual practices are a ways of wasting this vital energy. And then also, negative emotions also deplete an enormous amount of this energy that we have in us. Negative emotions like anger, like hatred, like jealousy, like being so petty and fighting all over. You just deplete all the negativities. All the negativities. Yeah. So all kinds of energy loss like diseases, they actually cause you to age. Without energy, our cells and tissues stop regenerating. That is without energy. So once you just mess it all up, you just lose it all up, all you're going to do is just lose your life. You're going to die. Under normal circumstances, our battery should be fully recharged when we eat, or we drink, or we sleep, or a combination of all the three. Eat, drink, sleep. Our batteries are supposed to be charged. But unfortunately, some people do not eat well, some people do not sleep, and some people even don't drink good water. So what happens is your battery runs down. And once your battery runs down, what happens to you is your tissues start going bad, your cells start going bad, and then the aging process begin. And once the aging process begins and you start falling sick, definitely death is what happens to you. But under normal circumstance, we are supposed to be immortals. We are supposed to be immortals. We're not supposed to just die off like that. So the body is capable of resisting all these things if you have a very solid immune system. If you don't fall sick, if you don't get small illnesses, you won't die. So all we need to do is to prevent our immune systems from breaking down. And you know what? Sex and your sexual glands help you rebuild your immune system. You didn't know that, but I just told you. Healthy sex would help you rebuild your immune system. We don't have too much time. I'll just do one last one and then we'll end for today. This series is going to go on for, like I told you, a whole year. We're going to teach you all the things you need to know, and then when you get out there and you are practicing healthy sex, you know that you're going to live long. One thing you should know is that everybody is 100% charged. 100%. You are healthy. When your battery drops to 70%, you start feeling miserable. When you drop to 50%, you'll be hospitalized. When you drop to 20%, you have to go to intensive care. And then when your battery is between 10 and 0, you are about to die. When it hits 0, you are dead. You are dead. So it is important, if you want to live long and prevent all these things from happening to you, then you would have to eat well, you have to sleep well, and then also you would have to practice healthy healthy sexual practices are what you also need to rejuvenate your cells, to make you live healthy, longer, and happier. We just went through a wonderful session, and we are saying that sex is life. That energy in you that you use in walking, talking, watching this show, and listening to me is your sexual energy. Once you drain it, you will lose your life. It's been wonderful, and I am sure that you learned something that you didn't know. That is exactly what the adult class is here to teach you.